Here we go. First of all, you know our promise. And let me tell you, you guys are the greatest. You're doing an awesome job. Remember to stay out of the chat unless it's like something I tell you to say in there, or if you have a really important question, like, my computer needs help, help me. All right, so you know our promise. I'm proud of you for that. Our birthdays are for the month of May. That is Mr. Michael and Mr. Jaden. And and I think, yeah, did we say that Siddharth's baby brother was this month too? What are we doing today? Okay, well, this is a kind of a fun lesson, and there's a reason why I'm doing it. It's all about observable properties. Properties, which we'll talk about what those are and how we observe them. So it says, today I will make observations using my senses so I can sort objects by observable properties, such as, oh, here comes some friends, such as size, shape, color, temperature, weight, heavy or light. Oh, here comes another friend. Or even how, texture and how things can sink or float. You know you have it. You know this lesson and you can do it if you can sort and classify objects based on their properties, okay? All right, everybody's joining. Woohoo, hello peeps. So we are going to talk about our super science vocabulary. I don't know why it's so small, but I'm going to read them to you. These are the words I look for when you get on with me at the DBAs and to start talking about the information from the lesson. I need to hear these words. I'd like, be specific, use these vocabulary words that are in your lessons. Makes you sound like a real scientist. Here we go. Observations, properties, senses, sort, classify, compare, similarities, differences, and our bonus words, variation, and a new one, matter. Matter. We're going to talk about what matter is. And we want to make sure that you're using your vocabulary words in both your DBAs, your oral responses, that means you're talking, and also your written responses. Okay, so what is matter? It's a new word and it's interesting. Can you guys pick something up? Anything, something small, show me what you have. Pick it up, hold it up to the camera. Ooh, look at all the sunglasses. We have a doggy, we have a basket, we have a pencil. What's Christian have? Hey, Lucy Jackson, what do you have? Miss Addie's going to grab something. Those are all, listen to this. Oh, that's cool. Look at the eggs. Those are all made of matter. That's right. Matter is everything. Everything is matter. You have, if it has mass, if it has volume, if you can describe it, it is made of matter. Now, everything pretty much that you can touch is made of matter. How can we observe the properties of matter? You guys use your senses? Yeah. What do you see? Look at your object. Look at it. Can you use your senses to describe that matter? Yeah. Ooh, it's round. It's tan. Tell me the size, the color, what it smells like. If it's food, what does it taste like? What does the texture? That's right. We can also describe it in terms of little experiments. Does it sink or float? How heavy is it? How light is it? Does it float up in the air? Does it expand? Does it blow up? So you can discuss all the observations you can make. These are called observable properties, the properties that describe the matter. All right. And these observations that you make can help you sort and classify the matter. Everything is made of matter. Everything you have around you, surrounding you right now, is made of matter. Look at all of it. All right. So our Nearpod, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat so that you have our code for the Nearpod. It is 8VSM3. 8VSM3. Okay. And I'll meet you over there right now. And this one, once again, let's bring it back to our lesson. We are talking about observable properties. Now, why are we doing this lesson, Mrs. Cruz? Well, because I noticed that during our DBAs, when I ask the question, what is an observable property? Can you give me examples of observable properties? I heard crickets. I did. I heard crickets. People forgot or weren't really sure what an observable property is, and they couldn't think of any examples. So I wanted to go over this lesson. So now, if anyone ever asks you, what is an observable property of matter? Observable property of an object, you know what they are, and you can give me examples. So let's do it. Okay, guys, you guys ready? Let's see how many friends we have. 5 friends in. I hope we have a few extra. If you are unable to log in, you know you can call out answers and then just remute. So when we get to a question, if you want to participate, you can unmute, say what you want to say, and then remute. Remute. Is that a word? Ooh, 6 friends in. I'm so excited. We have, let's see. How many friends do we have in here? We have Addie, Jackson, Johnny, Almo. We have Ben, Christian, and Christina. Okay. All right, guys. So maybe we're just missing one friend. You can join at any time. Let's get started, Miss Cruz. Today, oh, we went over this. We're going to use our senses to make observations about observable properties like size and shape and color and temperature and weight and texture and whether things will sink or float. You know you have it, and you know you'll pass your DBA if you can sort and classify objects based on their properties by giving me observable properties, okay? So observing properties of matter. Remember, matter is everything. Everything is made of matter. Matter can be a solid, like what you grabbed and held up to me. It can be liquid, like the juice you drank today, okay? Or gas. It could be like smoke or some type of gas that goes into the air. Toys are made of matter. Balloons are made of matter. Water is matter too. Some matter has parts that are so small we can't even see it. And on the second picture, we have all the different examples of matter. It says matter is anything. Isn't that weird? It's not, I'm not saying what's the matter. I'm saying what is matter. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up some space. So the plant, the desk, the chair, the cloud, the cat, you're made of matter. Yes, you are. Yes. Okay, moving on. What are observable properties? Listen as I read this because this is important information, guys, and it explains what observable properties are. Ready? Scientists investigate, describe, and try to understand all the things around us. For example, if scientists are studying a rock, they might start by describing the rock's size, shape, and color. They would also find out how hard the rock is and whether it's rough or smooth. You remember what that word is? Text. Oh, yeah, you know. Yeah. Texture. And whether it's shiny or dull, they would, all these words like describing what the rock is like and what they're called is called properties, observable properties. You can observe the properties. Get it? Observable properties of the rock. Can you think of some other properties of the rock? Raise your hand if you did the sink float investigation using a rock. Yes, you tested to see. Maybe you could try a different one. What else could we do to observe a rock? Oh, has anyone tried rolling a rock? Maybe some rocks roll and some rocks don't. Think about that. This question's coming up again. So think about all the different things or properties we can observe. All right, so almost done, guys. We're going to get started on the work in a second. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. I wonder if there's some cold and hot rocks. Objects can be compared by even how cold or hot they are. That's another observable property, hot and cold. Using your 5 senses, you can observe the characteristics or properties of objects. All of these observable properties help to describe the object fully. Oh, there's nothing more frustrating than asking a scientist for information and they don't give it to you. You say, can you describe that rock? Yes, it's hard. Okay. What else? That's it. It's just hard. Wait, you didn't tell me the color. You didn't tell me how much it weighed. You didn't tell me what it looks like. You didn't tell me where it came from. You didn't tell me how heavy it is. You didn't tell me anything else. Yep, I don't want to tell you anything else. That's frustrating. Tell me everything that you observe about that rock. Once we gather all the observations, now we can compare them with other rocks and we can sort and classify them. Yeah, you don't have to do that with just rocks either. Think of an archaeologist and maybe he's digging up some bones alongside Ben and Olmo, and they don't know the difference between a bone and a rock. Wait, what? Is this a bone? I can't tell. What about, can they tell the difference between a new bone and an old bone? Well, they'd have to make some observations. They'd have to look at the properties of them and see if there are similarities, differences. They can compare them with other things and then they'll know, oh, this is an old rock. This is really old. This is millions of years old. Maybe they need to determine whether it's a human bone or a dinosaur bone. You can't do these things. You can't compare unless you have your observations of the properties. All right, now moving on. We're going to watch a part of this video, just a part, okay? Talking about hunting for properties. What do you already know about describing different objects by their properties? What do you already know about describing objects using their properties? Any answers? Oh, you can use observable properties. That's right, Almo. Nice job. Yeah, if you observe them using your senses, then you'll be able to describe them. Can't describe something unless you make observations. Okay, 5 seconds left. Just think of something that you already know about describing properties. Go ahead, Johnny.
You have to unshare it. I can't type.
Oh, sorry. Go for it. Thank you for that. Me too, Alma. Me too. Oh, there's Johnny. You have to use your 5 senses. Yes, you can use your eyes to see the shape and color, and you can use your sense of touch to feel texture. Wonderful. Looking for at least one more friend to type in a response. Doesn't have to be too long. Just tell me what you know about describing objects using their properties. Making observable properties of objects. Okay, all right. It's okay if you didn't get a chance to finish. I'll see it at the end. Let's move on. All right, let's review our 5 senses. I asked one student not too long ago, what are our 5 senses? They forgot. So let's just review them as quickly as you can. Match up the sense to, oops, there it is. Don't show it, Miss Cruz, to its example. Yeah, ooh, that's quick. Look how fast you guys are. Yes, wonderful. Oop, Christina, you're almost there. Here comes the answers. Okay, everybody peek. Hearing, touching, seeing, smelling, and tasting. Raise your hand if you've just smelled something really gross in the last couple of days. Yeah. What'd you smell? I smelled some broccoli. Yeah, it didn't smell very good, but it tasted delicious. All right, here we go, guys. Good work. Thank you. reviewing your senses so that you can make observations. Now, I want you to pretend that you're running through this field of beautiful dandelion flowers. Look at that. What do you think about making observations? If I specifically said to you, I don't want to know about anything else. I want to know what your observations are about the properties of these flowers. Oh, look at it. Zoom in. Hold on, Johnny. You're going to get to tell me on the next slide, so wait for it. Look at that. Has anyone ever seen one of these in real life? Yeah. Oh, you know what you can do with them. Think about your five senses: seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing. Okay, get ready. You've made your observations. And by the way, yeah, I'm not there. I don't know what they smell like, but I can imagine what they would smell like. Yeah, I can't taste them, but I can imagine what they would taste like. Be like grass. What they sound like, I bet I can imagine what they sound like when the wind blows through them. Oh, okay, here we go. Please, whenever it decides to come up, tell me some observable properties that you could observe using your five senses if you were standing in the middle of that beautiful dandelion field. Let's see what you come up with. They smell like, they look like, they feel like. Jackson, oh, look at that. What do they smell like, Almo? They smell like. Jackson.
Smell like dandelions.
So write that in. But what do dandelions smell? Do they smell like flowers? They smell like roses? Do they smell like potatoes? Jackson, you can unmute and tell me, what do you think they would smell like? That's an observable property.
Do I think what would smell like?
The flowers, did you notice the dandelion?
Oh, they would smell like they smell like let's see, poppies.
Oh, poppy flowers are pretty. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Jackson. All right. And Johnny says, I saw yellow. Oh, she's used her sense of sight. I saw dandelion flowers that were yellow. Color is an observable property. Yes. And she says she can't smell it, but it would smell beautiful, like perfume, right? And its stem. Oh, she's talking about the texture. If you touch it, it would have a smooth texture. Beautiful, guys. Awesome. Okay, 10 seconds left. If you haven't shared something, go ahead and type it in now. Hi, Christina. Go ahead, Christina.
It won't let me not draw nothing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Why don't you go ahead and tell me? What could you observe?
How it looks.
Okay, tell me how it looks.
Yellow, green.
Yes, color is an observable property.
It's light yellow.
Yes. Do you think they were heavy?
No.
They were light, right? Like kind of like feathers almost, right?
Like a big plant would be heavy.
Yeah. And did you notice the flowers that have when the yellow petals fall off, it was like a puff ball, like a cotton ball. That was my favorite part. And they blow away.
Yeah, I love those things. I just pull them out from the ground and go.
Oh, look at all the texture. Would it feel like a kitty cat? Would it feel soft, Ben? Excellent. All right, so let's move on. Thank you. Go ahead and mute up. And here we go on to the next part. An object's density. That's how dense it is. Remember, like it doesn't have enough air inside of it, so it'll sink. That's density. When something is just so solid, it will sink. So objects that have more mass and less air are dense, heavy, dense. Objects that are less dense objects that are nice and dense and thick will sink down to the bottom, while objects with less density, because there's air inside, will float. So I want you to quickly identify which objects will sink and which objects will float by sorting, dragging each object into the correct column. The first column says sink, and the second column says float. Float like a boat. And let's see how we did. Oh, I can't see your work, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and do it. Let's see. Sink versus float, right? Okay. Oh, that's a dense, heavy object. The rock, the metal is dense. It doesn't have any air in it. Really. Ooh, look at the barbells. Anything with metal, right? Oh, this has air inside of it. Wood has air inside, so it's not very dense. A feather, a leaf. Oh, when you did the investigation, what did the crayon do? Who remembers? What did the crayon do? Johnny?
It sunk. My
Oh.
crayon never worked after that.
Isn't that weird? I was surprised by that. I thought for sure that would float. And what about the apple? Who thinks they know what the apple will do? What do you think, Jackson? What do you think, Christina? Christian, what do you
I
think would
think-
happen? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell it. Yell it out. Yell it out. Christina, yell it out.
I think it will float.
Okay. Well, I thank you. You think it'll float. What about Christian? What do you think, Christian?
I think it'll float.
You do too? Thank you for that. I kind of agree. I think I do. What about who was the other person that I said? Jackson, what do you think it would happen to this apple?
I think we should put the apple on the left side. The left side.
The float side or the sink?
The sink.
You think it'll sink and they think
Oh
it'll
no, float. The float side.
You think it'll float? You know
Yes.
what? I think it will float too because I'm wondering there's a lot of air inside that
An apple.
the apple. So I think it will float. You should test that out one day, guys. Thank you for that. Now, this is an observable property. Observable properties are things that you can observe about objects made of matter, and that will help you sort and classify, which we just did. Let's try the next one. This is an interesting thing. Remember the object that you showed me? Can you draw it in this chart? Now, let's watch what they did. This scientist took a whole bunch of objects and they sorted them by size. That's the first one. By color, by shape, by texture. And then inside each one of these columns, they sorted them by how large they are. They have small, medium, large, and then the color, they put it in each category. You can see the colors there. So I wonder where you would put it. You can take a second to draw, if you can, your object and where you would classify it. Where would you sort and classify your object? There's a bunch of different ways. If I had that wood basket that I think it was Ben or Olmo showed me, right? So they held up this little basket made of wood. I think I would probably sort it by texture. And I think I'd put it over in this right column and I might put it in hard. I would stick it right here because I know wood's kind of hard. Or maybe I'd put it in the smooth section. Oh, okay, Johnny, go for it. What were you going to say?
I showed black glasses. I sorted them by color.
Awesome. I love it. That is an observable property, something we can observe about it. Color, shape, size, texture, sink and float, light and heavy. Yeah, these are all great ways to be able to sort our objects. Okay, 5 seconds left. Nice job. I love it. Addie, what did you have? You put yours in, by color. Very good. That is an observable property. Oh, Christian, you have it in everything. Choose one. Choose one place for your object. Because this is the interesting part. You can resort your object. If you put it in color one day, maybe the next day you come back and say, okay, I've sorted by color. I've observed that property. Let me try a different property. And maybe you sort it a new way. Very good, Ben. Okay, hold on to your seats. Here we go for the next one. Weight is another observable property. Have you ever been weighed at the doctor's office? Weight is a measurement of how heavy someone or something is. It determines how heavy or light objects or items are. So you're sorting the objects into the correct column, heavy versus light. And there is a video you can watch later. You don't have to watch that right now. But this is going to ask you to sort the objects by heavy versus light. This is another observable property. Oh yeah, the car is heavy. Ooh, a horse is heavy. What about this teddy bear? Where would I put that? Addie, is a teddy bear heavy or light?
Light.
Yes, I can pick him
So
up.
light.
That's right. Very good. How about, let me see who has not had a chance. Hey, hey, Ben, where would I put the pillow? Benny, Vic, Ben. Where would I put a pillow? Where'd he go? Where's Ben? I lost Ben. Okay, I'm going to put him over in light. How's that? I picked up a pillow over my head. This is like a, I think I call them a kettlebell, and people use them to work out. They lift weights. I'd say a rock, if it's a large rock, it's going to be pretty heavy. Paper might be light. I've seen paper float on water, and we all tried the pencil. It
It's
floated.
light.
Yes. Yes, very good. Thank you, love. Okay, guys, moving on. My dog is fighting with me here. Okay. All right, we're going to skip this part. This is just the brainstorm. If you want to work on this on your own, it is list all the observable properties you can think of. Remember what they are: shape, size, color, sink and float, smell. You could just list every one you can think of. How would you sort? This is our quiz. Out of 7 questions, how many do you think you will need to have correct to feel confident about knowing what observable properties are? 3 to 4 questions, 5 to 6, or all 7? How many questions do you think you need to get right? To feel confident and successful, know what observable properties are. Great job, guys. Here, let's try it. Let's try it. Time to climb. It's only 7 questions. It's very quick, and we're of course going to go to the beach. So choose your player. Addie's in. Addie's green. There's Christina, Miss Penguin. Oh, it's a koala. Almost a koala bear, I think. Oh, who's it? Johnny, is it cat? Or I don't know what that is. Christian. Oh, he's cute. Look at that little fox. Okay, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can join at any time. Here we go. What property was used to sort these objects? How did they sort them? Not by smell. If you said shape, yeah, they got all the hearts in one and all the circles in the other. That's how they sorted them. Let's try the next one. What property they used to sort these objects? Well, they have all those in one side and all those in the other. What do you know? They're all color. They're sorted by color, all red and all blue. Try the next one. You guys are getting faster. What property do you think was used to sort these objects? Johnny, do you need me? Or you want to just yell the answer? Go for it.
When the confidence thing, when the thing, you misspelled about on the confidence thing.
Did I? Thanks you. Good eye, good eye. All right, here we go. Next one. What property was used to sort these objects? Look at these objects, and I want you to observe how they sorted them. Oh, I think I know what it is. I think the feather and balloon gave it away. Wait, excellent. Everybody got that one right. Almost done. What property was used? Oh, I know this one. What do you think, Jackson? If you said temperature, all the hot versus cold, very good. Yeah. Notice that ice cream was cold, the other was hot. Okay, we can, oh, here's a question. We can sort by color, size, shape, and temperature. Can you name one more observable property that can help us sort and classify objects? A says food, B says sink and float, and C says dog and cats. Let's make coffee, thank you. If you said sink and float, you got it right. Was that only 6 questions? Oh, Miss Cruz. So yes, you can't count either today. Look at those scores. Everybody got points. Good for you. We're almost done. Here it goes. Let's wrap it up and be finished. How do I know you've got this? Use your 5 senses to describe the observable properties of, ready for it? Peanut butter. Do you guys like peanut butter? Yeah, I do. All right, so I want you to use your senses. Okay, it smells like, it looks like, it feels like, it sounds like, it tastes like. Oh, be more specific, Miss Addie. Be more specific. Tell me exactly. Okay, like I want you to describe it. If you were a scientist, what would you say it was salty? Would you say it was, let's see, oh, the texture, that's a fun one to do. Oh, it smells like a peanut. Great. Christian, be more specific. You have to be more specific. If I walked up to a scientist and I said, what does it feel like? And he said, gross, it doesn't tell me exactly what it feels like. Okay. So think about some words that you would use to describe it to me. If I didn't know exactly what it was like. Oh, look at that. Creamy. Yes. Oh, Johnny says, I know that peanut butter is a tan color. Color. It feels gooey and smooth. Oh, I like that one. And it tastes dry, but kind of like honey. Peanut butter doesn't make sounds. Yeah, that's right. Smooth, Christian. I love it. Very good. Look at all these hearts I'm giving out. Tastes like a peanut. It's so good. What about let's see, we've got smell, we have taste, we have touch, we have sound. Somebody said it doesn't really sound like anything. It doesn't really sound like anything. And then what about, unless it's crunchy? Oh, crunchy peanut butter. And I like the color. Yeah. What about another observable property, hot versus cold? Or like hot versus like room temperature, warm. Could you observe peanut butter in that way? All right, guys, wonderful job. Thinking about all the different ways we can observe objects and list their properties helps us learn how to sort and classify all the objects on the earth. That's what we do. We need to make sense of the earth. And that's how we do it, by making observations of the properties. Thank you for learning with me. I think you are awesome. I really, truly do. And I'm going to stop sharing. I will share the Nearpod with your families over GroupMe. So if you want to practice this on your own, you are welcome to. And any questions we might have? Any questions?